This is the Rogue Federal Student Loan Collector. Today's subject is AWG, Administrative Wage Garnishment. Now, student loan administrative wage garnishment could be serious. If you have a student loan and it's fallen into default, a wage garnishment could be a reality for you. AWG, what exactly is it? Now, the Debt Collection Improvement Act of 1996 allows Department of Education and the collection agencies to take 15% of your wages involuntarily. Department of Ed claims that this is the tool of last resort. When they say this, they're feeding you a bunch of BS. If they are unable to contact you, you will face AWG. And in order for the AWG to be triggered, they will have to send a minimum amount of letters and make minimal amounts of phone calls. And that alone is a big BS. When somebody says last resort, you would assume that they've done everything that they can in their reach to get in contact with you. Now, the bigger pile of BS comes from when they tell you that this garnishment will continue until the balance is paid in full. There are definitely ways to sidestep a garnishment, and we will touch up on this subject here today. Before we come to a solution, we will need to really assess our situation. So I'll need to ask you something. Is this a threat, or did it really happen? Did the withholding order reach your employer, or have you seen the deductions on your check already? Or are they just simply threatening you with the garnishment? Are they just calling you and threatening you of this? Even if the AWG process has already begun, there are still solutions for you. There are still ways to resolve this situation. If you're going through financial hardship, you can request a hearing for financial evaluation. Now, if you're not going through financial hardship, you can always make payments on top of the garnishment. Now, this might sound ridiculous, but if you're able to complete a 9 to 10 month payment process on top of your garnishment, you will be able to stop your garnishment and regain financial control again. Now, if you have the financial means, you can always settle out your student loan. You can always do a partial payoff to pay a fraction of your balance to satisfy your student loan. And this can be a way to go ahead and sidestep your garnishment. Now, if the garnishment has started, it could get complicated, it could get sticky, but it is not impossible to stop the garnishment process. Now, if the garnishment is just a threat, it is not as serious as you might have thought. Now, it is still a serious matter, but there are ways to sidestep this immediately. Now, my first pointer to you is that you must clearly state that you would like to voluntarily resolve this matter. If you do not clearly state, I would like to voluntarily resolve this matter, they will take it as a refusal, document accordingly, and go forth with the garnishment proceedings. Now, another tip for you to make this formal is to call Department of Education's customer service line and let them know that you want to resolve this matter. Now, the funny thing about this is, just like the collection agencies, this customer service line is a contracted company as well. Now, another tip that I have for you, if it is just a garnishment threat, you would need to go ahead and send in a payment immediately. Now, if you send in any payment amount immediately, the garnishment will be out the window for the next 60 days. Now, that doesn't mean you won't have to pay for 60 days, but it'll buy you the window of time to go ahead and get everything prepped financially to start making minimum payments. Now, if you have the financial means, and if they're just threatening you of this garnishment, you can always start a settlement arrangement. Now, once you put a settlement arrangement on file, you'll have 90 days to pay this settlement amount. Now, paying the most minimum amount to the collection agencies would be the best case scenario. And the reason why I mention this is that the collection agencies will cash out on 16 to 18% of your payments regardless. So whether it's a garnishment, a payment, whether you settle out, or whatever the situation is, whatever payments you make, they will be taking 16 to 18% of your payment. And this is exactly why my tip to you is to pay the most minimal amount to these collection agencies. Now, another tip that I have for you is to make the lowest payment amount. Now, making the lowest payment amount is important, but at the same time, you'll want to qualify for a formal arrangement. Now, if you qualify for a formal arrangement, you might be able to get your collection fees waived, you might be able to fix your credit, and you will be discharged out of collections. Now, getting out of collections by getting on a rehabilitation payment program is the best case scenario for you. Now, with this rehab payment program, they'll make you make 9 to 10 payments, but if you're able to go ahead and complete this 9 to 10 payment process, you would be able to go ahead and sidestep the garnishment, get yourself out of collections, and make sure that most of your money is going towards your principal. You will need to pay a percentage of your balance on a monthly basis. With the rehabilitation payment program, there will be a set amount. It is up to you to manage your money and to make the most minimal payment amounts possible in order for you to be discharged out of collections. To learn more, please visit us at www.freestudentloanstuff.com.